Hi, magandang araw sa inyo mga minamahal naming mag-aaral under the course Introduction to Criminology. So, I've seen that one of our topics is an introduction to the Philippine Criminal Justice System. So, today we'll be looking at a brief overview of the Philippine Criminal Justice System 5 pillars. So, in the Philippines, we have 5 foundations or 5 pillars involved in the criminal justice system. While in other countries, they have 4 or they have 3. In America, they have 3. Police, court, and corrections. So, ang wala sa kanila is community. Yun naman ang meron sa atin. Now, ito ang asan ba yung pointer ko? Let me show first my pointer. Tinatawag na system ito because there are various functionaries, institutions, or agencies involved. They work together, they collaborate to further our justice. So, hindi lang ang PNP or ang ating pulis, ang ating kapulisan ang nagtatrabaho to to maintain our peace and order and other functions. So, maraming agencies ang involved dito sa sistemang ito. Kaya siya tinawag na system because there are many institutions involved. So, sa Pilipinas nga, meron tayong 5 pilar or pundasyon. So, we have law enforcement. The law enforcement is called the frontliners of the justice system or the initiators of the justice system kasi sila mismo yung nandun sa unahan ng justice system natin. Now, we also have the prosecution or the screeners of the justice system. So, hindi lahat ng kaso umaakyat sa korte because our courts are already overloaded with the criminal, civil, and administrative cases. So, kung merong kaso man na pwedeng ma-clear sa baba pa lang, pwedeng i-screen na ng prosecution, gagawin ng prosecution. Of course, we have the court. So, this is the cornerstone, the central piece of the criminal justice system. So, sila yung tumitingin kung guilty or hindi yung isang law violator, yung na-arrest. We also have corrections. So, of course, if the law violator was found guilty, then he will be put into a correctional facility for him to be treated or rehabilitated. So, our correction system today treats law violators or convicts as sick people who needs to be treated. Kailangan nilang magamot, ma-rehabilitate for them to be reintegrated back to the society as law-abiding citizens. So, balik sila sa community. Yan. So, iisa-isahin natin tong 5 pillars na ito. So I will be giving you just a brief insight on each pillar. Kasi introduction naman eh. So, we have the law enforcement pillar. We have the Philippine National Police, of course, or PNP, and the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI. These are the 2 primary law enforcement agencies in the Philippines. And other law enforcement agencies. So, marami pang ibang ahensya involved in law enforcement. Like, for example, para sa ating drugs law, we have the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency for that, or PDEA. Para naman sa immigration law, we have the Bureau of Immigration. Para naman sa aquatic and fisheries resources, we have Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources for that. So, kapag yung isang batas ay may mga na-i-include na violations na kailangang mapunish, we have our law enforcers for that. So, depende yan sa isang batas. Kaya na nga ng sa PDEA, we have the drugs law. PDEA will enforce that. So, ang law enforcement pillar is called the initiator. Sila yung nag-i-initiate. Sila yung frontliners, sila yung nasa unahan they enforce the law. So that is their primary function, to enforce the law, to prevent and control crime. So may pagkakaiba dyan sa dalawang yan. In crime prevention, wala pang krimen, wala pang kriminalidad na nangyayari. And andyan ang law enforcers natin to deter potential law violators, like for example in checkpoints, or let's say yung police presence na lang mismo. Ang police presence, tinatanggal niya yung opportunity sa crime triangle, or yes, triangle of crime. So kung yung magnanakaw, may nakita siyang gusto niyang nakawan, pero nandyan yung police, nadideter siya. Na-prevent yung crime, hindi na siya nagnanakaw. In crime control, may nangyari na, but our law enforcers are there to mitigate the damage or yung consequences, to control, or pwede rin crowd control, para hindi pa mas lumaki yung problema or yung krimen. Of course, we also have crime detection and investigation. Kung may nangyaring krimen, nandyan yung investigators natin from the PNP, from the NBI. So, sa NBI, they are tasked in special cases. So, siguro in another PowerPoint, we'll tackle kung ano yung functions ng NBI, kasi may specific crimes na ini-investigate nila. And investigation. So, nagagather sila ng ebidensya. Yan. Of course, maintenance of peace and order. Our law enforcers maintain our peace and order. They also arrest law violators, so by virtue of warrant of arrest issued by the court. Pero may mga instances na pwedeng i-aresto ang isang tao kahit walang warrant of arrest, like in the case of yung in the presence of the law enforcer, merong taong gumagawa na ng kriminalidad, or katatapos niyang gumawa ng kriminalidad, so he is escaping from his yung ginawa niya, from his criminality or from his criminal act. So right then and there, pwede siyang i-aresto kahit walang warrant of arrest. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na citizen arrest. So that will be shown in another PowerPoint lang siguro, because our purpose for this presentation is an overview of our 5 pillars. So yung citizen arrest, kahit sinong citizen who is of legal age and of right mind, pwede niyang i-arrest ang isang tao pag yung taong ito may ginagawang krimen right there and there. So pwede rin gawin yung citizen's arrest. Of course, after arresting, you have to bring the person in a police station. So bahala na yung PNP dyan. Or bahala na muna yung PNP na mag-assist. Yun na muna pag citizen's arrest. And suspect and case referral to the fiscal. So pag naaresto ang isang tao, kailangang dalhin siya kay prosecutor or kay fiscal for the filing of complaint. So hindi pwedeng dun lang siya sa isang lugar. Kasi may violation or may crime dyan kapag hindi mo siya dinala sa fiscal within a certain time. So that will be shown in another PowerPoint. Now we have the prosecution pillar, or the fiscal. Yan. So this is the function of the National Prosecutor's Service under the Department of Justice. So pwede rin dito si Office of Ombudsman. Yan. So the prosecution pillar is the principal law agency of the government, and they act as legal counsel and representative ng law violator. So they also administer the probation and correction system. They offer free legal assistance and representation in case the person or the law violator has no money to hire his own private attorney. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Uh, you have the right to choose your own counsel. If you cannot provide your own counsel, the government will provide one for you. Yun. So, the government will provide one for you. Yan na. Ito na ito. Free legal assistance and representation. Now, as I've said before, the prosecution pillar serves as the screener or the gatekeepers of the criminal justice system. Hindi lahat ng kaso, so na-file na ng complaint, hindi lahat ng kaso um, aakyat sa korte. Kung sa prosecution pa lang tinitingnan na ni prosecution yung background kung tama ba yung ifa-file na kaso, may mga ebidensya ba? Yan. Para hindi na dumagdag sa overload ng korte. Ini-screen na yan ng prosecution. Pwede rin namang para hindi ma-overload din si prosecution kung yung case na ito ay kaya ng barangay justice system natin kasi meron tayong tinatawag na katarungang pambarangay. Yan, isa din yan nakasama sa justice system natin. Doon pa lang sa barangay, pag-uusapan na yan. So, there will be a conciliation, mediation, pag-uusapan, and then they will come up with a resolution. Now, kung talagang hindi kaya ng barangay court or barangay justice system, akyat na siya sa prosecution. Pero sa barangay justice system, there are certain cases that cannot be resolved there. Like for example, yung mga rape cases, hindi pwedeng i-barangay yan ngayon. Hindi na pwede yung amicable settlement ngayon. Na minsan meron pa rin sa atin sa Cordillera mismo. That because of our mangibabain na culture, kababain, because nakakahiya because yung violator, yung offender is a family member, dinadaan na lang sa amicable settlement, naglalabas sila ng baboy tapos kakatayin. That is not already acceptable today. Yan. So that is the prosecution pillar. Tinitingnan dyan yung mga ini-screen na ni prosecution. So he considers the background of the case. Kung pwede siyang i-prosecute nga pa or hindi na. Now, we also have the court pillar. So, this is the centerpiece of the justice system. This is the cornerstone of the justice system. So, we have the Supreme Court here. So, our Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. We also have the Court of Tax Appeals. Ano pa ba? We have the Sandigan Bayan. Court of Appeals. Yan. So, ang function ng court is of course to adjudicate the case and to render judgment. So, paano yung judgment? It's either after considering everything, yung evidence and witnesses presented by both parties, yung prosecution and defense, the court will come up with its judgment kung guilty ba yung taong ito, or yung na-aresto, yung law violator, or the defendant or the accused, guilty ba siya or innocent. Yun lang naman yung dalawang judgment dyan eh. So, kung guilty, tapos mag-a-appeal si accused, pwede rin. So, depende rin. Depende kung pwede siyang bigyan ng chance to appeal. So, it's based on the circumstances of the case. Yan. So, case adjudication and rendering of judgment. So, there are expert witnesses and ordinary witnesses na pinipresent dito sa court. And so, expert witnesses are there to assist the judge, to enlighten the judge. But, the judge alone has the final say kung guilty or innocent si accused. Yan, that is our court pillar. Now, we move to the corrections pillar. Kapag na-found out na guilty, beyond reasonable doubt, yung beyond reasonable doubt, that is the standard the prosecution and the court follows in a criminal prosecution. Yan. So, kapag guilty yung accused, na-convict na siya, dadalhin siya sa corrections. So, we have our corrections facilities. Yan. These are our correctional facilities. So, later on na yan. Ang function ng corrections, yan, is to for the safekeeping of convicted offenders. Bakit tinatawag na safekeeping? To prevent family members or other members of the community in hurting the convicted offender. Kasi minsan yung community, kapag rape or heinous crime yung nangyari, rape, murder, meron pa rin sa atin yung an eye for an eye mentality, buhay sa buhay. Now, to prevent such, isa-safe keep siya sa penitentiaries, or sa jail or sa prison. And, of course, to correct his behavior and to rehabilitate him. So, ito yung mga principles na involved sa corrections. Deterrence. Deterrence, kinukulong itong convict para hindi na siya pamarisan ng iba pa. And, of course, to rehabilitate him. For him to change his ways para mabago yung buhay niya. For him to be reintegrated para maibalik siya sa community as a law-abiding citizen. Meron ding isolation of prisoners. So sa corrections, lalo na sa New Bilibid Prison or our national penitentiaries, ina-isolate yan or our prisoners are classified. So, merong maximum security prisoner, medium security prisoner, and minimum security prisoner. So, hindi pwedeng yung minimum security prisoner ay dadalhin sa maximum security prisoner. So, that alone, the classification alone, serves as isolation of the prisoners. Yan. And punishment, to punish him for the crime he has done. Yan ang pinaka-function ng corrections, rehabilitation, and punishment. So, sa Pilipinas, meron tayong tinatawag na insular penitentiaries or national penitentiaries. Itong national penitentiaries ay hawak ng Bureau of Corrections. Bureau of Corrections that is supervised by our Department of Justice. So, lahat ng mga nandito, mga convicted na. And then, we also have the jails supervised by Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. So, we have the BJMP jails, yung mga city jails, and municipal jails. Yan. And we also have the provincial jails managed by the provincial government. So, tatlong klase ng penal institutions ang nasa Pilipinas. Those that are under Bucor, those that are under BJMP, and those that are under provincial governments or PLGU. Now, dito sa national penal institutions, we have 7 insulars. We have 7 national penitentiaries. So, we have the New Bilibid Prison that is located in Muntinlupa City. We also have the Correctional Institution for Women sa Mandaluyong City. So, dito dinadala yung mga babaeng offenders or babaeng convicts. We also have Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm. So, this is located in Puerto Princesa, Palawan. And Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm in Occidental Mindoro. San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm in Zamboanga City. We also have the youngest prison. We have Leyte Regional Prison in Abuyog, Leyte, and Davao Prison and Penal Farm in Panabo, Davao Province. So this is formerly the Davao Penal Colony. So ito yung 7 na penal institutions sa Pilipinas. Bago dalhin sa isang national penitentiary, si convict, ito yung mga documents na kailangang i-present doon sa sa penitentiary before he is accepted as convict, as a criminal. Yan. So we have the mitimus and commitment order. Commitment order, so that comes from the court. Information and case court decision. So we have the information filed by the prosecutors. We also have certification of detention in case the convict was previously detained. He was previously placed under detention sa maybe in a city or municipal uh, jail. Yan. Certification of no pending case, certification of non-appeal, and we have the inmate data sheet or the provincial form number 35. So these are the documents needed before a convict is accepted in a in a national prison. So yan. So he will undergo classification classification in the prison. So he will be classified if he is a minimum security, he is a minimum security prisoner, a medium security prisoner, or a maximum security prisoner. So pag tinawag na maximum security prisoner, these are prisoners who who cannot be they are prisoners na kailangan ng maximum security and maximum supervision. So, after the service of sentence ng convict, babalik siya sa community pillar. He will be reintegrated to the community pillar. So, ang isa ding tawag natin sa community is mobilized community. Kasi pag community lang, useless yan. Pero kapag tumutulong yung community in the furtherance of our justice system, it is a mobilized community. Yan. So, mobilized kasi nakiko-cooperate sila with our law enforcement agencies. Kung may nangyayari man na kriminalidad dyan, sila yung tatawag sa PNP or sa barangay tanods natin to control or prevent the crime. Now, if there are witnesses, they will be called to present their testimony sa court. Pero kung hindi sila tutulong, edi useless. It's considered community only. And of course, we have the determinants. The community is the determinant of how corrected and rehabilitated individuals live. Kasi meron tayong mindset ng labeling. Sa corrections, inaayos yung buhay ng convicts. So, hindi sila nandun lang para kumain, matulog. So, they are educated by our government through the correctional programs for them to learn the necessary knowledge and skills for them to become productive citizens pagbalik nila sa community. Now, tayong community, pag nakakita naman tayo ng ex-convict, anong ginagawa natin? Huwag nating i-hire yan kasi ex-convict yan. Dating mamamatay tao yan. Huwag nating lapitan yan kasi magnanakaw yan. Dating magnanakaw yan. So, by that alone, dinidetermine na natin kung anong mangyayari dun sa ex-convict or ex-criminal. Babalik ba siya sa dating gawin niya kasi we do not accept him as a corrected individual? Or, if we accept him, then he is totally rehabilitated. Nagbabagong buhay siya. Yan. So nasa atin community members kung paano yung magiging buhay ng corrected na tao. So that is the community pillar. Kasama din dyan pala yung para naman sa mga bata. Kasi 'di ba pag bata, there is automatic suspension of his case. They are not treated like adult law violators. Yan. So we have the DSWD and Bahay Pag-asas for that. Yan. So kasama din dyan sa community. We help these juvenile delinquents turn their ways or fix their lives. So that is the criminal justice system. So again, we have the law enforcement pillar, prosecution pillar, court, corrections, and mobilized community pillar, which made ano ba yan? Which makes our criminal justice system. So there is a collaboration, a coordination, a working between functionaries or institutions to make the criminal justice system work. How about si Rafi Tulfo? Kasama ba siya sa criminal justice pillar? He is not kasama sa criminal justice system natin because because the program promotes street justice. There is no really total justice there. While siguro madalian, but in our jurisprudence, we have our presumption of innocence kasi parang based from observation sa Rafi Tulfo in action program. There's a force there. Parang tinatawagan ka tapos sumasagot ka. You do not even know your rights. But sometimes our justice system has its weaknesses kasi kaya there are lots of people who accept this kind of street justice. Although marami din namang natulungan si Rafi Tulfo in Action Program, but meron siyang pros and cons. And siguro let's take that in another presentation. Yan. So let me end this discussion with this statement. An effective criminal justice system can only be developed based on the rule of law. Yan, we have the rules of laws. So we have kasama dyan yung constitutional rights natin. And for law violators, for arrested people, they have their Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent and others. And the rule of law itself requires the protection of effective criminal justice measures. Yan. So even our system needs protective measures for it to become effective and efficient. So that's our criminal justice system. Thank you.